Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I'll be honest, this video has been on my content calendar for a while now, and I have struggled with it because I didn't have a clue of how to title this video. And I know that sounds like such a minor detail, but really, I've struggled with coming up with something that could accurately reflect the message behind what I really want to talk about today. And this topic, it is so important to me. This idea of money and flowers, it's been one of those hard-learned lessons that I remember really struggling with, especially early on as I was trying to make that transition from hobby flower grower to full-time flower farmer. And I know that I'm not alone because I see this common thread in the questions that you guys all ask in different social media comments and the questions that I get from you during our flower consults that we do online through Zoom. Now the questions, they're all a little bit different. Sometimes you ask, well, how much land do I need to start a flower farm? Or how much can I make per stem selling flowers? And how many stems can I really expect from one plant? But really, when you break it down, it all boils down to one thing. You guys want to know how much money you can really make from selling flowers. Because taking that leap and turning your love of growing flowers into a real life business can be downright scary. And I think what we all want when we ask these sort of questions is just a little reassurance that it's actually possible for us to make a full-time living doing something that we love. If this sounds like you, I want you to keep watching because in this video, I'm breaking down the business side of flower farming like I've never shared before. So if you're ready, let's go. Here's the thing, so many of us when we go into business for ourselves and we suddenly realize that our income is dependent on how much product we sell instead of how many hours we punch into a time clock, we have this tendency, at least in my opinion, to hyper-focus on the small details. You know, we get caught in this line of thinking that if we make $20 from selling one bouquet and $40 from selling two, then we just have to sell more to make more. We focus our time and our energy on how we can grow more flowers, harvest more stems, sell more bouquets. It becomes this game of more. And that's why so many beginning flower farmers ask that question that I mentioned at the start of this video. You know, how much land do you really need to flower farm full time? One of the most impactful lessons that I've learned these past few years, you know, running my own flower farm, is that whether you have a hobby or a business, it has very little to do with the size of your farm and really has more to do with your numbers. You can be a small farm selling a relatively small number of bouquets, and yet you can still make a substantial income because it's really about how you can leverage what you're doing so that you can make more money by doing less. I know this all may sound too good to be true, but getting the numbers to work in your favor, that's the key to building a sustainable and enjoyable flower farming gig. And so let me give you some ideas of what I'm really talking about here. I've just said that flower farming is a numbers game, and one way you can make more money selling your flowers is by reducing your inputs. Specifically, when it's just you running your flower farm, one of your most limiting factors is time. And so the important question to ask yourself is, how can I serve more people in less time? Or asked a different way, how can I leverage my time so that I'm serving more people? We do this in a few different ways here at Two Sisters Flower Farm. The first thing we do is that we welcome visitors into our garden through our U-Pick events. Essentially, with our U-Picks, we are delegating the labor onto someone else who wants more than just the flowers that they're picking. You know, they want the experience of being able to enjoy a beautiful flower garden. Let's say, and let's keep the numbers simple here, but let's say that I can put together 5 bouquets an hour and sell those bouquets for $20 each. You know, I'm essentially grossing $100 for that 1 hour of time. And let's compare that to a U-Pick event where I can host 10 people to pick and create their own bouquets. You know, let's keep the numbers the same for comparison's sake, but suddenly in that same amount of time, I'm able to earn $20 for hosting each of those 10 people, and now I've grossed $200 for that same hour of time that I was once only generating $100 for my business. In this case, I've leveraged my time in a way that I can make more money in less time using the same amount of inputs. The same number of flowers that I'd use if I were creating those bouquets myself. Now, is there more cost involved that I'm not including in this example? Absolutely. You will have more costs associated with hosting an event, but for the sake of this video, I'm simply trying to illustrate a concept of encouraging you to think outside the box of how you can work smarter, not harder. This same line of thinking is why we offer, various workshops throughout the year. If we can serve more people, still in a very meaningful way, but if we can serve more people at once, say in a bouquet building workshop or in our winter wreath workshops, then again we're able to generate more revenue than we would if we were doing that same instruction, in a one-on-one setting. And maybe hosting an on-farm event isn't for you. Well, that doesn't mean that you don't have options to leverage your time. You watching this YouTube video right now is just one more example of how we make time work for us here at Two Sisters Flower Farm. You see, education is such a big part of what we do here at our flower farm. I enjoy the fact that we get to share so much behind the scenes type stuff with all of you. But conveying that information can be time consuming, especially if we were to deliver it on a one-on-one basis. Instead, we use a platform like YouTube where we can create our message just once, and it can be used to answer your questions many times over. We really take time to create quality content through our videos, which do take a good chunk of time to create and edit, and we write informative blog posts, that link to some of our favorite products. And we create paid products like our garden planning ebook and our quarter-acre garden plan, knowing that these income streams, the money that we receive from Google AdSense, from affiliate marketing, and from our paid products, that can later become passive streams of revenue for us. Ultimately, with passive income, we're able to leverage our time, and in the long term, what we create is a business that works for us, that produces revenue for us even when we're not directly working in the business. If serving more people isn't your wheelhouse, and it's alright if it's not, then perhaps you may want to ask yourself, is there a service that I can add on top of my product to increase the value of the product that I'm offering? Design services is a popular value-added service that some flower farmers choose to do. When you're talking about the difference between a typical market bouquet and a more formal bridal bouquet, there's a significant price difference. Now, that's because there's a significant difference in the value of those two products. As a farmer florist, it takes more time to communicate with your bride about what she desires in a bouquet. There's more work that goes into deciding on, the specific flowers that you're going to use, and there's usually more time spent on creating the bouquet itself. The value that you're adding by being able to create that bride's vision for what she wants on her wedding day, that value is something that your customers are willing to pay for. And you don't have to offer, full-scale wedding design to reap the benefits of this value-added service either. If you're feeling intimidated by all of the moving parts that go into large event planning, maybe you focus on smaller design projects by offering corsages or boutonnieres for those in your community that are maybe attending a formal dance of some kind. There's a lot of different ways that you can put your creative spin on how you sell the flowers that you're already growing. Now, so far in this video, I've talked about ways that you can earn more from your flowers, and I've talked about that in terms of doing more, reaching more people or adding more value. But I also want to take a moment and challenge you to look for new ways that you can make more money from what you're already doing. I'm always a fan of when I can repackage or repurpose something so that I can earn more money from things that I'm already doing. Agritourism is one of these big categories that fits here. If you're already growing flowers to sell, why not let your beautiful space be the backdrop for people who want to experience nature on a more intimate level? Photography especially is really popular right now. And you could always partner with local photographers and actually charge quite a bit of money for people who have interest in either photographing or being photographed within your flower garden. Similarly, your flower garden could be a space of relaxation, a momentary escape for someone needing calm in their life. So maybe you work with a local yoga studio that wants to host yoga retreats or meditation classes on your property. Maybe you allow your garden to not just be something that you cut flowers from, but you also allow it to be a show garden where you sell tickets for people to come and walk through your beautiful space as they enjoy, all that you have grown. And back to that photography for a moment. Maybe instead of having a photographer come in and take photos, of other people, you hire that individual to take photos that capture unique images that represent your farm. And maybe you repurpose those photos and turn them into postcards or some sort of calendar that you sell during your off season. You could even turn those photos, into novelty gifts like puzzles, which again you could sell at times when you would otherwise not have flowers to sell. What's great about repurposing is that you've easily created more products for yourself that you can offer to your customers without having to grow more flowers. And that ultimately proves my point that you don't have to have a large flower farm to be profitable. Now in this video, I have thrown a lot of ideas your way. I presented you with a lot of different options and how you can earn more money from the flowers that you're already growing. I want you to understand that my intention is not to add more to your already busy schedule. My hope is that this video will inspire you to see yourself and your business as more than just an entity, that sells flowers. After all, your value as a flower farm is not just found in the products that you grow. I want you to know that if you expand your perspective, you may find more, out-of-the-box ways that you can make more money from flowers without having to always push to do more work. Okay, that video felt a little long, but I'm excited to have finally sat down and recorded this for you because I think it's so easy to get bogged down in the details that we sometimes can miss, the bigger picture. There's plenty of opportunity out there. You just have to be able to recognize it when you see it. Okay guys, before I go, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button if you found the content in this video helpful, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button too if you haven't already. I'm wishing you lots of success in the season ahead, and as always, I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye guys.